Hey there guys, so today I'm going to be unboxing the E2046 original Inuyasha figure. So for some reason, even though Inuyasha was very successful both in Japan and abroad, both the anime and the manga, for some reason I can't understand it didn't really get almost any figures. I know there was a couple of maybe 2 or 3 PVC figures. I don't remember the manufacturer that didn't look too good at all. I know there was one Kotobukiya figure. I believe Kagome that was made that looked alright, but it didn't really have the line of figures that we see nowadays for shows that come out nowadays. It might have just been the time that the show came out in the early 2000s. So it was really a surprise and a happy surprise for me to see that there was going to be a full, I believe this is a 1/6 scale figure of Inuyasha. I never thought I would ever see that. So this is the box that it comes in. It does get shipped from Hong Kong. It took probably about 3 weeks, 4 weeks to arrive to California in the US. This is a very heavy box comparatively. I weighed it, it's about 1.7 kilos, somewhere almost 4 pounds, which might explain why the shipping was definitely higher than normal. I believe it was about $40 for shipping. And it's very well packaged. In fact, it might be too well packaged. I had to rip the box open to be able to get in here. I was probably just opening it wrong, honestly. But it does come with the standard E2046 box on the inside, yellow box. Get that out of the way. Take the plastic off. Here's the packing list. All right, let's get all this out of the way. So here it is. Here's the photo of the figure inside. The pose, definitely really cool. Hopefully nothing is broken, everything's in good condition and it's good quality. This is one of E2046's original kits. So they designed it. So hopefully it's good quality. Here we have the eye decals. As always, there's at least 2 sets, just in case you mess up one. They look pretty cool. The eyebrows are looking a little big, but they might fit with the scale. I don't know. Put those aside. Alright, and now opening this up here. The nice thing about the original kits and their anti-hero kits is that they come with nice instructions. It tells you exactly where to place everything. For some reason, garage kit makers do not make good instructions. If you ever bought the one of Vispo's motorcycle kits, you will know that issue. But it looks fairly straightforward. You got the main body, which includes the torso and the legs. You got the 2 arms, which are basically just the long sleeves of the kimono. You got the bangs, the back part of the hair, hands, the Tetsaiga's in 3 pieces, and then you got a couple ribbons, feet, and the Tetsaiga's sheath. And it looks like something else here that hangs off of the sleeves. I'm not sure. So a total of 16 pieces or 18 pieces. It looks like not too complicated. It might just be one big solid piece of resin from what it looks like. So some stuff in probably Mandarin that I cannot read. It might be the description of the figure. I don't know. I can't really read Mandarin. This is in Japanese here. It would take me a lot longer to read it if I tried. Oh, and here's in English. So it says resin cast garage kit. Just give some general warnings about keeping it away from kids. You need glue cutters, etc. Check the parts when you receive them. If there's any damaged parts or missing parts, let them know along with photos. Take note that we will be unable to replace broken parts made by improper modifications or parts that are already being worked on. So as soon as you get the kit with E, make sure that you check that you have all your parts and that the parts are not damaged. If you start working on them, they will give you a lot of trouble. They probably will not replace them. They give you some tips. Make sure you wash the parts to remove mold release. Use putty sandpaper. You can bend it with hot water, etc., etc. Shows you the contents and some links. Alright, well, that's nice. They haven't been doing that. It might just be because it's an original kit, but in general I haven't got that. So here's again a photo of the parts that you're supposed to have. Check those with what you get. How to use water slide decals in English and Mandarin. Alright, and here we have pretty good sized photos of the kit and what it's supposed to look like in the end. That's always nice to have for reference. And here we get into the actual kit. So one thing that you probably noticed, and I definitely noticed when I saw this at my front door, is that this kit is absolutely huge. It is very large. It says it's a 6 scale, I believe. Yeah, 1/6 scale. It looks almost like a quarter scale to me, if you ask me. This is very heavy, a very heavy piece of resin. So here's just one sleeve, probably the left sleeve, the blade of the taiga, along with its sheath. Here's Inuyasha's head and his feet. So the length of the taiga is longer, or about as long as my hand from wrist to middle finger. That gives you a good idea of how big it is. This is gigantic. I was not expecting this at all. It's a straight up solid piece of resin. You could commit an assault with this for sure. I'm gonna get the box out of the way so we can look at this. So here's the main body, torso, and the legs. This figure is absolutely gigantic. Not only in its, maybe not so much in how tall it is, especially because he's squatting down, but it is very bulky, very thick. This is a good 1.5 pounds, maybe 2 pounds. So here it is. First thing that I noticed is the quality of the resin looks very nice. I know Ease has had some problems with quality. I've come across some kits of theirs that are not very good, but I mean, it looks nice. The resin is nice and white. I don't really see, just with this quick look over, I don't see pinholes. I don't see seam lines. There is a thick tab right here because of this piece of resin being so large. The tabs are going to be larger as well, of course. There is one, I guess, sort of pinhole right here. I hope y'all can see that. So there's I mean, that can be puttied in easily. It looks like the parts, or the limbs, do go into pegs, so that's nice. And I mean, yeah, there's not much to say. It's just a big, solid piece of resin. Definitely needs to be washed. So we'll put the torso aside. Open up the other bags. This figure is going to take up a lot of space in my shelf. I was not expecting it to be as huge as it is. It's absolutely massive. It's going to overshadow every other figure that I have. Alright. Quality control. So here we have Inuyasha's hair, the back part of it. Again, it's a solid lump of resin, but it might be just a little bit more fragile because it's thinner. So I'd definitely be careful. Don't drop it on its on the tips of the strands. Just one solid piece. You got his ears here. You got the top bangs. Now the top bangs look alright. They're not as sharp as I would wish for them to be, especially when this is such a large piece. It could definitely have been made a little sharper. And this is an issue with casting. It's not even an issue of how they sanded it or anything. It wasn't well casted in this sense, but that can be fixed with a little bit of sanding. The rest of the hair looks pretty good. I mean, since it's so large, it doesn't need to be crazy detailed with the strands. But it looks pretty good. It's definitely stuff you can do with this. Here's a tab. Not a bad place for the tab to be. And then moving on to the sleeve. Tab right here. Tab on the peg. The quality here looks pretty nice. You can see the stitching on the kimono, which is pretty nice. Again, just a solid piece of resin. No pinholes that I can see, not really any seam lines. There's a little bit of seam line on the connections here, but they won't be seen anyway. If you want to sand them down, you can go ahead, but it's not even necessary. I don't want to let this video get too long, so I'm going to go ahead and try and speed this up. I just want to show everybody all of the pieces. So it looks like hopefully this is tabs and not something that we need, which it might be, because this is a hand and this kind of looks like a thumb or a finger, but we'll look into that in a second. So what is this? Bangs. We'll go ahead and open up the last bag as well. So same deal here. This is one of the sleeves for the other side. Same thing. They're symmetrical. Alright, and this should be the last of the pieces. So here is the blade of the Tataiga. It's pretty nice. It's got a nice curve to it. It's sharp. The edge is sharp on both sides. I don't really like the flash here very much, but if you're careful with it, you shouldn't really have a problem. Nip it off and then sand it down. You can make it sharp. So that's it, the blade. The sheath of the Tataiga, it's just a stick. So here's his face. His head is definitely one of the most important things to me in any sort of figure is the face. I mean, can't really tell how it'll come out right now. It's got a big forehead, but I'm guessing the bangs cover it up. And his expression, I guess, is sort of I can't tell whether he's being serious or he's angry or he's smiling, smirking, I don't know. But it is what it is. Checking it with the decals. I guess it's about the same size, yeah. I guess it's about the correct size for the face. So, face is alright. The feet look really well sculpted. You can tell all the toes apart. You can see the detail on the toenails. There's detail on his heel, or not heel, whatever you call this. Basically, the foot is really well sculpted. It looks really good. It's even got the bottom arch here on his sole. Same thing with this foot. Very nice. The ribbon of the obi in the back looks pretty good. There's a little bit of flash here that can be taken care of easily. And here we have the right hand with the Tataiga. I thought that maybe we would see a missing finger, a broken finger, but no, it looks fine. All the fingers are here. There's a little bit of detail on the scabbard here, I believe is what this is called. And I guess the Tataiga attaches as so. It's going to need a little bit of work to get it in there. It definitely will need a pin to make sure that it doesn't have issues later on, but shouldn't be too bad. I actually forget what this is. Oh, this goes on the... Okay, so I was wrong. So the Tataiga actually goes here into, I guess you could call this fur, and then the actual scabbard goes on the bottom. So, nice detail there. I don't know where this came from. I'm guessing it's just flash. I guess I'll find out later. And the front bangs, very nice. Don't see any issues. Yeah, they look pretty good. They got good detail. If you put them on the head right here, it fits perfectly. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and try and put this together with a quick dry fit, and then I'll show you guys, take some photos, and you can go ahead and make a decision on whether you want this kit or not. All right, and we're back. So I want to kind of work quickly because I don't want this to hit more than 20 minutes. And the taiga is slowly falling down here. But this is the fully assembled kit. Like I said, not too complicated. It took me about 5 minutes to do it. I actually had to saw that big flash on the bottom of his left leg off using a hobby X-Acto knife saw because it's just too big to clip. But everything in general fits pretty well. The sleeves have a little bit of issue fitting, but that's because I haven't sanded down the flash completely. For scale, here is a 180 milliliter can of Tamiya surface primer, and this is how big the figure is compared to that. It's kind of a weird angle here with the fisheye lens, but I'm going to try and show you guys as best as I can. It's definitely going to need some really good pins on its base. He's not going to be able to stand up on his own. The back of his hair is going to be heavy. The taiga is going to be heavy. Everything's going to be heavy, so it's going to need some good pinning, some big pins. But overall, everything fits nice. The taiga just sits into his obi right there. You don't even need to do any pinning or anything. It just slides right in. Here's the necklace, which I neglected to show earlier. And that's this is what the face looks like with the bangs on it. It's going to need a little bit of work, but it should be all right. And that's it. So this kit is currently up for pre-order on E2046 as of almost August 2018. It's already purchased, meaning they're definitely going to print it again. I know they're going to do that because they have their own molds, so they'll probably keep printing it as long as they can, as long as there's demand. It is a bit of a pricey kit. It's about $130, maybe $140. I can't remember exactly how much it was, but shipping does bring it up a lot. See if you can bundle him with some other kits. But yeah, he looks pretty nice. It's something that wasn't there before. There's definitely a market for it, and I'm just gonna go ahead and take this hand off because it's coming off. There was definitely a market for it. Right now, he's actually standing on his own. So I don't know if y'all can see that, but that's pretty nice. I'm not holding it up with anything. He's standing on his own, but I would not trust it for sure. I would definitely pin it down to the base. I'm just lucky here. And so yeah, one last thing that I wanted to mention before ending the video is to keep in mind of how large this kit is. I know I've said it a number of times, but it really is very big. I don't believe you could classify this as a 6 scale. I honestly do not. This right here is a 1/6 scale figure by Alter. Of course, she doesn't have the bulkiness that Inuyasha does, especially considering the kimono, but I still think it kind of proves the point. If he were standing up right now, he'd definitely tower over her, and he's definitely thicker than she is. So it's going to take up a good amount of space on your shelf. If you don't mind, go for it. And, you know, bigger might be better because you just be able to have a nice big figure in your shelf. But if you're considering space, you don't have enough space, you already got a big collection, you might want to think twice before ordering this figure. So I hope that was helpful for everybody. I will get around to painting it as soon as I can, and I'm definitely excited to see what people come up with and how they decorate this figure. There's definitely a lot of stuff to do with it, and not so much prep work, so you don't have to worry about the annoying part, sanding, puttying, very minimal. You can straight up prime this and get to painting. So I hope this was helpful. You guys have a nice day.